Krishna. All welcome to Shivamangalariti Japa session. And now we'll start with the short Srimad Bhagavatam class. And share my screen. Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 15, verse number 36. Yad Mukundo Bhagavan Imam Mahihi Jahosva Tanva Shavaniya Satkataha Tadahir Eva Pratibhuddha Chetasam Aha Abhadra Hetu Kalir Anvartata. Word to word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Word to word meaning, Yadha when Mukunda, Lord Krishna, Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Imam this Mahim earth, Jahu left Swatan with his self-same body. Shravaniya Satkataha, hearing about him in worthwhile, Tadha, at that time, Aha Eva, from that very day, Aprathi Buddha Chetasam, of those whose minds are not sufficiently developed, Abhadra Hetu, cause of ill fortune, Kalihi Anvavartaha, Kali fully manifested. Translation: when the personality of Godhead Lord Krishna left this earthly planet in his self-same form, from that very day, Kali, who had already partially appeared, became fully manifest to create inauspicious conditions for those who are endowed with poor fund of knowledge. Purport: the influence of Kali can be enforced only upon those who are not fully developed in God consciousness. One can neutralize the effects of Kali by keeping oneself under the supreme care of personality of Godhead. The age of Kali ensued just after the battle of Kurukshetra, but it could not exert its influence because of presence of the Lord. The Lord, however, left this earthly planet in his own transcendental body. As soon as he left, the symptoms of Kali Yuga as were envisioned by Maharaj Yudhishthir prior to Arjuna's arrival from Dwarka began to manifest, and Maharaj Yudhishthir rightly conjectured on the departure of the Lord from the earth. As we have already explained, the Lord left our sight just as when the sun sets, it is out of our sight. Hare Krishna. So before I begin to share some points, I would like to offer my prayers. I would like to offer my prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashilakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadhamayam Dadhanti Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padancha Gana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitancha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधारा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण पदाय कृष्ण कृष्ण श्रीमते जय पता Hare Krishna. So I will try and share some points, and I would like all the Vaishnavas to please pray for me so that I glorify Srimad Bhagavatam for my personal purification and for the pleasure of my Guru Maharaj. So today's verse is 1.15.36. So here we can see in the verse as to how Kali has entered, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, he is returning. He has returned to his abode. So there are certain many takeaways from Srila Prabhupada's purport. So we'll discuss one by one. So in today's purport, Srila Prabhupada is writing that the Supreme Lord, when he descended back to his supreme abode, Golok Vrindavan. So here Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that he is descended in his transcendental body. And if we go see in the synonyms, that is what one meaning, Srila Prabhupada has given that here Swatanva, that means with his self-same body. So when the Supreme Lord finished his transcendental activities in the material world, and when it was time to return to his spiritual abode, the Lord left the material world in his self same body. So what we can understand here is how the Supreme Lord is Satchit Ananda, and because he is the supreme creator, and unlike the Jivatmas, he does not have his body is not different from his soul. So the entire body of the Supreme Lord is transcendental. So when he left to the supreme abode, he left with his spiritual body, not like the normal Jivatmas, as to how when the soul leaves the body, only the soul is separated from the body and the body perishes. But in case of the Supreme Lord, his entire body is Satchitananda. So we can understand here as to how the Lord is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? And he is different from the Jivatmas. The soul is different from the super soul for a Jivatma. But here, this Supreme Lord, when he is descending, it is not that he has to change his body or he has to get another form. The soul takes another form. No, when he is returning to the spiritual abode, he is returning with the same body with what he had descended when he had to perform his transcendental activities in this material world. So Srila Prabhupada even tells, when I was hearing from a lecture from Srila Prabhupada, and the Srila Prabhupada was mentioning as to how in the how Krishna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he tells Arjuna that you were present with me all the time, but it is just that you have forgotten and I remember. Why is it that Supreme Lord is telling that? Why is that Arjuna has forgotten? Because we are also part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, right? Why is that Arjuna has forgotten and the Supreme Lord remembers? So Srila Prabhupada tells that is because the soul keeps changing the body. So the soul has changed so many bodies, it cannot remember. It has changed so many bodies, and so much anartha has accumulated that the soul tends to forget. But the super soul, that is the Supreme Lord, because he is, transcendental, so he remembers each and everything. Because the soul changes its body, it is forgetting. But it is not the same in case of the Supreme Lord, and Srila Prabhupada has proved it again. His return and stressed on this point again, telling that the Lord is returning in his self same body. So again, establishing the fact that he is the Supreme Personality. So this is the first point, that the Lord is returning to his spiritual abode. So since the Lord is returning to his spiritual abode, another personality is entering the Kali, another personality is entering this material world, and that is Kali. And we can see in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that it is not that when Krishna was present, when the Supreme Lord was present, it is not that Kali was not there. Kali was still there, but it is just that because Supreme Lord was present, Kali could not show its effects, it could not fully manifest. So when Krishna is present, all the other inauspicious things cannot be present simultaneously. So, how there is a famous example of the darkness and the light, right? Darkness and light simultaneously cannot be present. So, in order, if darkness has to evade, then the light, then in the presence of light, darkness cannot survive, it evades, right? So similarly, even though Kali was present, but the all auspicious, the Supreme Lord was present, since Krishna was present, Kali was not able to manifest itself. But since now the Supreme Lord is going back to his spiritual abode, now Kali is slowly trying and showing it's fully manifesting. That is the word that Srila Prabhupada is using. Kali is fully manifesting itself, and all the symptoms of Kali Yuga are becoming more prominent. So, we'll try and discuss what are the effects of Kali and how Kali is manifested, what are the symptoms of Kali Yuga. So, firstly, the word Kali itself means Kali means conflict or darkness. And what is darkness? In darkness in spiritual life. So any Kali in Kali Yuga, there cannot be any spiritual growth for a person. So nobody is spiritually inclined. That is the meaning of Kali. And even another meaning of Kali, Prabhuji was mentioning in the class I was hearing. He was mentioning Kali means, so when a person gambles, and in that gambling, when he throws the die, and in that die, if one falls, that one is addressed as Kali. So the speaker, Bhagavatam speaker, he was mentioning as to how the the gambling game is only lowest, and even in such a game, and the lowest number is addressed as Kali. So we can understand how degraded this age of Kali is. And even so that is the meaning of Kali, and in the place where it resides. So Kali means conflict or darkness. That is the basic meaning of Kali. And in Markandeya Rishi, he has mentioned several symptoms of Kali. What are all the symptoms? How will Kali manifest? What are all the difficulties in this yuga? So Markandeya Rishi mentions that there will always be conflict. Kali itself stands for conflict. The word Kali itself is standing for conflict. So there will be so much of conflict that people will, try to find peace. But the age of Kali is such that uh, everybody can just conflict among themselves. They can have conflict of interest. They'll always keep fighting over some or the other thing, and there'll be so much of argument, misunderstanding, and everything. So there'll be conflict among even the person that they love. They'll keep having conflicts. So I was in my office. I was once speaking to my colleagues, and one of my senior colleague, he had gone to the GST department, and when it had happened, there is a family court beside the GST department, and he had happened to hear that every day they are at least receiving 3,000 divorce cases, and when they were looking at this divorce cases, they were trying to find out why are the couples getting divorced, why are they getting separated. And it happened that one of the cases, in the divorce case, the wife wanted to divorce the husband because she does not like the way he puts the toothpaste on the toothbrush. So you can see as to how it is such a nonsensical reason, and they're having conflict on small things. So when I heard it, I felt people conflict on such things also. So it was very funny when I heard that. So you can see as to how people are conflicting on small things, very small things, minute things. So that is actually a symptom of Kali. So the first symptom of Kali is that there is always going to be conflict, arguments, misunderstanding between people. And second thing is that there'll be no compassion. So we can see as to how there is no compassion, right? And that is the reason people are all killing the animals, and they are calling it to be advanced civilization, and they're all wearing fancy clothes, sitting and eating that raw meat of the animal, because they have just lost compassion. So when I was hearing to the lecture, Prabhu was mentioning as to how one of the person, he had come to the Bhagavatam speaker from whom I was hearing class, and he was mentioning that one day it so happened that he wanted to go and log in to his office, this person, and he's trying to scan his card, and the doors are not opening, and he tried it multiple times. And then the security guard comes and he tells that yeah, this particular person, he tells this security guard, why am I not able to scan? So this person, the security guard tells, go from the other way around, and at the back side of the door, there is a table kept, and there are many envelopes, and you see which one is yours and pick it up. So he does that. He goes and he sees the envelope with his name, and he picks it up and he opens the envelope, and there is his resignation letter. And to his surprise, there are almost 3,000 resignation envelopes on the table. And then this person comes back to this Vaishnava and he's telling, what is this, Prabhu? They do not have, they do not have mercy at all. Till yesterday, I was slogging like a dog in the office, and today I'm not able to scan and get through the door. They just lost compassion. So Prabhu was mentioning that, so they're able to see that when they're losing their jobs, that they're able to see that their super boss is losing compassion on them. But the same person in the same office, in the lunch break, he's sitting and eating meat. So that time he's not losing compassion. That time he has not lost his compassion, right? When he's taking out life from when he's taking out the life from an animal and enjoying it, that time he has not lost his compassion. Prabhu was mentioning as to how this person, he's just lost his job, not his life. He can find another job. But that person who has taken out life from a living entity, he cannot give back life. So we can see how there is no mercy in this Kali Yuga. People have lost being compassionate, right? This is another symptom. So another symptom, the next symptom that Markandeya Rishi tells is that there will be no truthfulness. So we know that Dharma stands on four legs, and in Kali Yuga, it is standing only on one leg, that is, being truthful. And slowly and steadily, even this leg of Kali is falling down, right? We're not able to trust people. We are not able to, build in trust even with the most known people. We are scared wherein, they'll spill out the tea. So usually this happens in my office, that we have this weekly connect, or we call it one-on-one. So when we go on one-on-one with our managers, I've seen it many times that there are so many people who goes and who has a meeting with the manager, and each time they go in, they confide something, and they'll be like, I trust in you, so please don't tell it out to anybody. So each time every person goes, and I keep on hearing, they've confide this or that, and they keep telling, can I trust you, can I confide things with you? And the manager and that person is like, yes, you please tell it out to me, we will not disclose it anywhere. So there is so much fear in the person, right? They're not ready to trust a person with whom you're working on a regular basis. That is also a symptom of Kali, because truthfulness is slowly degrading, right? And nobody is able to trust anybody, sometimes not even your uh, own family members, because anybody can backstab. So that is a symptom of Kali, that is over and over growing and growing, and people are losing trust on each other. So the next symptom that Markandeya Rishi tells is that people will have no regard to spiritual life. And we can all see as to how, when we go present the teachings of Lord Chaitanya through the books of Srila Prabhupada, people keep asking, why are you following this spiritual life? What is the logic behind it? People are trying to find logic behind something, and we can all see as to how the number of atheists are increasing, and especially this Gen Z, whatever is going on, we can see. And I speak to my colleagues in the office. They usually tell they don't believe in God, and they tell this is the new Gen Z vibe, or whatever they term it as, very weird terming. But people, they're not ready to accept it, because they that is a symptom of Kali, right? Kali Yuga is trying to grasp people's attention everywhere except in the place where it is required, except in spiritual life. They're all busy in gratifying their senses, trying to see how can I satisfy my desires. So they're not turning their faces towards the spiritual life. They do not have any regard to spiritual life. And if you pray for something that requires faith and trust, people are not able to take it in, and they're finding logic behind everything. And and they're becoming atheist. They're not able to believe in God, and they tell there is some power that is looking after everything, but they're not able to accept that it is the supreme Lord who is doing all of it. So that is also a symptom that there is slow degradation in spiritual life. People are not ready to take up spiritual life. And the next symptom is that people will keep migrating. So there is a pastime of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada was in Boston, and what happens when he go? We know how Srila Prabhupada goes on morning walks. So when Srila Prabhupada was going on a morning walk, and he sees this huge, big hotel, and it'll be very big and with multiple rooms, and he sees multiple people checking in and checking out. And Srila Prabhupada tells to his disciples, do you see that hotel? That is a symptom of Kali. That people will keep migrating. It's a symptom of Kali Yuga, that people cannot stay at one place, and they'll keep migrating, like animals. They cannot eat at one place. So you can see how they will stay at a place for 2 days and again move on to another place. And this is what Markandeya Rishi had also predicted, that they will keep migrating, and that is also a symptom in Kali Yuga, right? And the most you know a very sad thing that Markandeya Rishi predicts about Kali Yuga is that the disciples will not be ready to accept the people will not be, first of all, ready to accept a guru. They can be easily cheated, and people are accepting the so-called guru. What they do is they try to blaspheme their guru, injure their guru, and they will not be able to follow the vows that they have given to their guru. So we can see as to how now so many fake gurus have started coming up. So all of a sudden they themselves declare to be a guru. They do not have any disciplic succession with them. There is no perfect knowledge that it is descended from the Supreme Lord. There is no scriptures they refer to. So all of a sudden, overnight, they declare themselves as guru. And people in Kali Yuga can be cheated so easily. Srila Prabhupada mentions the same thing. He tells that until and unless people are ready to get cheated, there are people who are cheating. Why are people cheating? Srila Prabhupada tells that people are cheating because the others are ready to get cheated, right? So you can see how people are randomly accepting any person as guru. The person does not have, they're not checking what is the basis, they're not inquiring anything, they're randomly accepting any person as guru. And how even after accepting a guru, maybe a bona fide guru, even after that, people are not following the vows that they have made to their guru, right? We can see how our Guru Maharaj, he emphasizes over and again. I happen to even read a quote of Srila Gurudev, where he was mentioning that if you chant 16 rounds, you follow your four regulative principles, it is very good for both of us. It is very good for me, very good for you also. But in case you don't maintain your vows, you don't chant your rounds, then it is going to affect me. It'll become very bad for me, because guru takes up the karma of the disciple, and if the disciple does not follow his vows, then in that case it is the guru who has to be suffering. So it is a symptom of Kali Yuga, right? We can see Guru Maharaj is suffering with so many health problems, and it is because some of his disciples who have taken vows are not fulfilling it, right? So these are some symptoms of Kali, and Kali is fully manifesting. We can see, right? It is not just some prediction that Markandeya Rishi made. No, because we're able to see how all these symptoms are clearly visible. And another symptom that Markandeya Rishi tells is that kings will become plunderers, that they'll keep exploiting people. There is just, we can see the tagline of the government does not go for what they are doing. So it tells government is for the people, by the people, and everything of that sort, right? But we can see that how government is just plundering people away. So I saw this meme wherein there was a person, and he was asked, whom are you working for? So everybody, we usually, where are you working or whom are you working for, when they ask, you know we tend to tell the name of the company, but this person goes and tells, I'm working for Nirmala Sitharaman. So because the finance minister is so clever, and she is taking up all the income in form of tax. And Srila Prabhupada tells the same thing, that how politicians are exploiting people, and there is tax on tax on tax, right? And they're all becoming plunderers. So these are some of the symptoms of Kali. But we can see that Maharaj Parikshit, it was not that Maharaj Parikshit didn't know that Kali is residing. In fact, Kali came and he approached Maharaj Parikshit, and that minute, that a very second, Maharaj Parikshit took out his sword to kill Kali because he didn't want Kali to reside. But later, Kali begs Maharaj Parikshit to at least give him residence in any of the five places. That is what Kali asks, to give residence, and he begs Maharaj Parikshit. And we know how, when anybody, even though he is such an abominable person, approaches Vaishnava like Maharaj Parikshit, Maharaj Parikshit is such a wonderful Vaishnava. He's so soft at his heart. Even when personality like Kali, approached him, he showed his mercy. He was so compassionate to consider the request of Kali, and he gave residence to Kali in five places. So, what are these five places? The four regulative principles that we follow. That is, in gambling, he gave residence to Kali in meat eating and intoxication and illicit sex. These were the four places, and the fifth place is where there is huge amount of gold acquired. So, in that place, Kali resides. So it is not that Maharaj Parikshit didn't know what are the effects of Kali. He's read Shastras, he's a devotee. But why is that Maharaj Parikshit allowed Kali to stay? Is because there are two good things that Maharaj Parikshit saw in Kali. So this is also, Maharaj Parikshit is exhibiting qualities of an exalted Vaishnava. So first, when Kali came, he was compassionate on Kali. And the second thing is, even though Kali is full of faults, he saw the good qualities. So that is how Vaishnava is. Even though a person is filled with faults, Vaishnava sees good qualities, only good qualities in that particular living entity. And Maharaj Parikshit also did the same thing. He saw two good qualities. And what is that? That is, if you in Kali Yuga, if you have to perform any auspicious activity, it is not compulsory, that it is not mandatory that you have to go perform activity, that particular activity. Even if you just meditate upon it in your mind, it is as equivalent to as you've performed it. So for example, you meditate that I want to feed Vaishnavas, and you just meditate that you're feeding the Vaishnavas, you've cooked delicious prasadam and you're serving Vaishnavas. Even just by meditating like that, one acquires the piety, right? And on the other hand, if there is any bad activity or any inauspicious activity, you will get the result of it only if you perform that activity. So this is the thing that he saw in Kali Yuga. And when he allowed Kali to reside, when he allowed Kali to reside in the five places, what did Maharaj Parikshit do to protect his citizens? Because he's a king, right? And it is the duty of the king to protect the citizens. What did he do? He asked all his citizens to follow the four regulative principles and to chant the holy name of the Lord. So, even though the Kali is full of faults, there is one sloka, right, from Srimad Bhagavatam 12.3.51. Kalair nite rajan asti eko mahaguna kirtanad eva krishnasya mukta sangha param vrajet. The translation is, my dear king, although Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults, there is still one good quality about this age. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one can become free from material bondage and be promoted to transcendental kingdom. So we can see how the Lord has manifested in his holy name, and he is filled his holy name with the equal potency. There is no difference between Krishna and his holy name. And what is the another advantage of this Kali Yuga is that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is appearing tomorrow. There is Gaur Purnima, and he has come to deliver the fallen soul. So Lord Krishna, in the mood of Srimati Radharani, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has been so merciful that he has come down to give this Lord of love of Godhead in through his holy name, and just by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. People, the conditioned souls in this Kali Yuga can, get connected to the Supreme Lord and go back home, back to Godhead. So these were some of the points from today's class that I could take, and I exceeded the time. I'm sorry for that, but I thank all of you for your patient listening. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Patit Pavana Guru Maharaj ki jai.
Sure. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Radha Sugopika Mataji, for your wonderful class on this verse, especially how the Kali Yuga advances, and step by step and quality by quality you have nicely explained. How the influence of Kali is more prominent the moment the Supreme Lord left the material world. Then it has started. And also, it is very funny that people are quarreling among for silly reasons, mm, for not giving coffee, tea, and not doing a very simple thing. They are getting divorced. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is the actually plan of the Lord. Every yuga has got certain principles, and Kali Yuga also has got, but it is the most degraded one. And but Kali Yuga has to take its effect. Then wait for the next yuga, that is the Satya Yuga. But then intelligent soul does not want to stay back in this Satya Yuga or Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. Does not want to make his soul, repeat after all these yugas. Because soul is eternal. Soul can live for eternally. It can live by changing so many bodies. So that does not mean that we should stay back here. So thank you very much, Mataji. We will wait for the participants' reflections. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat.
Very nice class, Mataji. How you've given so many examples in Kali Yuga, how the people are nice examples, Mataji. And how we have to relive depending on the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. You told. So nice class, Mataji. Yes,
Thank you,
Mataji.
Mataji.
In home and outside, everywhere we are seeing. We don't know how to bring, just we have to say chant. That's it. Hare Krishna. Thanks, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam Mataji.
Dandavat Mataji.
Class was really nice, Mataji, with lot of examples and realizations. And one takeover point is that Vaishnavas are very merciful, Mataji. They take out only good out of, if anything bad happens also, they see only the good, Mataji. So that point is really very catchy. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Yes, Mataji, very nice examples that you have given. Till now, it was only I was not aware of this point. Like Kali is residing in this 4 or 5 places where it has been allotted. So when I reflect back, I can understand like it stays in all the bad qualities, whatever we have in this Kali Yuga. So this example is very nice, Mataji. Very good information that you have told. And the most important thing I like in your sessions, whenever you take any class like this, you come up with so many of informations from different other sources. So that gives a very depth of this topic, Mataji. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Mataji. It is the mercy of my Shiksha Guru and my Guru Maharaj. I've got the service. Thank you so much, Mataji.